From the Canterbury Tales, The Wife of Bath's Tale. Many hundreds of years ago, when Arthur was king, all England was filled with spirits. Nowadays, no one can see these spirits because the countryside is full of homes, churches, villages, and towns. Now, Arthur had in his court a young knight who was out riding one day when he saw a maiden walking by the river. In spite of her struggles, he forced himself upon her. This caused a great deal of anger at the court, and the knight was condemned to death. However, the queen and her ladies begged the king for mercy, so the knight was turned over to the queen who would decide his fate. One day the queen said to the knight, "You are not sure yet if you will live or die. I'll save you if you can answer one question. If you can't give me the right answer, you shall die. But if you give the correct one, you may live. I don't expect you to be able to tell me right now, so I will give you 1 year to learn the correct response. Do you agree to this?" The knight agreed to the queen's demands. What else could he do? So the queen set his test. He had 1 year to learn what women want most. When he heard this question, the knight sighed with sorrow. How could he ever learn the answer? Finally, he decided to go wandering and return to the end of the year with whatever answer he could find. He said goodbye and set out on his journey. He asked the question every place he could, but nowhere could he find two people who agreed. Some said that women like money best. Some said honor. Some said clothes. Some said widowhood and remarriage. Some said that our hearts are best pleased when we are flattered and fussed over. I'll tell you the truth. That's close to the right answer. Some said we love to be left free to do as we want without complaint, or that we love to be thought wise and sensible, that we want to be considered trustworthy, but that's not true. We women can't keep a secret. The knight grew more and more distressed when he realized he couldn't learn what women love best. But the day arrived on which he had to return. As he rode and worried about his fate, he passed by the edge of a forest. There he saw more than 2 dozen women dancing. He approached them, hoping to learn something, but when he got close, the women vanished into thin air. The only person left was an ugly old woman, the ugliest you can imagine. The old woman stood up and said, "Sir Knight, no road passes through this wood. Tell me what you are looking for. Maybe I can help you. Old people are very wise." "Good woman," said the knight, "I am condemned to die unless I can find what it is that women want most. If you can tell me, I'll make it worth your time." "Give me your hand," she said. "Promise me that you will do the first thing I ask you to do, no matter what it is, and I'll tell you what you want most. Excuse me, and I'll tell you what you want to know." The knight quickly agreed. "Then," said the old woman, "I can promise you that you are safe. The highest woman in the land won't dare to deny what I tell you. Now, enough talking." And she whispered something in the knight's ear and told him to be happy. The old woman accompanied the knight on his return. When they came to the court, the knight said he had returned as promised. He said he was ready to answer the queen's question. Many noble ladies, maidens, and many wise widows assembled to hear him, and the queen herself sat in judgment. The knight was ordered to appear. The crowd was commanded to keep silent so that he could tell the listener what thing women love best. The knight didn't stand there stupidly, but in a voice just loud enough for all the court to hear, began to speak. "Your Majesty," he said, "in general, women want to rule over their husbands and their lovers, to be the power behind them. Though you may decide to kill me, this is what women want most. I'm here as you commanded." In all the court there wasn't a wife, maid, or widow who disagreed with him. They all agreed he deserved to live. When she heard this, the old woman jumped up. "My queen," she said, "I taught this knight the answer to your question. In return, he agreed to do the first thing I asked of him. Before the court, sir knight, I ask your honor, your promise, and take me as your wife. You know I saved your life. If I speak untruthfully, say so now." "I know what I promised," said the knight, "but please ask for something else. Take all my money, but let me go free." "Though I am ugly, old, and poor," she said, "I don't want all the gold in or above the earth. I want to be your wife." "No," cried the knight. "It would dishonor my family." But in the end, there was nothing he could do. Everyone agreed that he must keep his promise to the old woman and marry her. Some people will want to hear about the celebrations that followed the wedding, what the people wore, what they ate, and how they danced and made merry, but I will respond briefly. There were no celebrations. No one feasted the bridal table. There was no dancing. The knight wed the old woman in the morning, and for the rest of the day he hid, like an owl who dislikes sunlight, and the knight flew away because he was so unhappy at having such an ugly wife. That night, his wife faced him. "Husband," she said, "do all the men at King Arthur's court behave like this? I'm the one who saved your life. I never hurt you. Why are you behaving so badly? What did I do? Tell me, and I will fix it." "How can you?" said the knight. "What ails me cannot be repaired. You are ugly, you are old, and you are of low birth. Is it any wonder that I regret my promise? I wish I had never met you." "Is this why you are so unhappy?" "Yes." "Now, sir," she said, "if I want to, I can change all this in no time, but you must treat me properly. You spoke about my low birth. The kind of position you mean comes from having money. That doesn't matter at all. The most important thing is doing good deeds. If a man helps his neighbor, what does money matter? We may claim to be noble because we have inherited money and titles, but we must inherit goodness also. Noble is as noble does. Therefore, although my ancestors be humble, I hope that I live in charity and grace. You scold me for being poor. A poor man need not fear thieves. A poor man knows himself. In addition, he is not taken in by those who only value him for his money or position. Poverty makes for hard work. It also adds wisdom. I think poverty is a pair of spectacles that lets a man see his true friends. Next, you scold me for being old. Even if the books don't say so, it is generally believed that you should treat an old man with respect. You even call him father to be polite. Because I'm old and ugly, you don't have to worry that I'll run off. I'll be a faithful wife to you. Nevertheless, you do not want me as I am. Therefore, choose now, she said. I will give you two choices. One, I can stay as I am, old and ugly, but a true and humble wife to you. Two, I can be young and beautiful, but then you must take your chances that might meet someone else. Choose for yourself whichever you want. The knight thought and finally replied, My dear wife, I leave the choice to you. Make the decision that pleases you the most. I don't care what it is. I will be ruled by you. And have I gained control of you? She asked. I can choose and rule as I please? Yes, I think it would be best. We are no longer enemies then, she said. I promise that I will be both to you. I will be both beautiful and true. If I break my promise, you may do whatever you want with my life. Turn around and see if I am not as I promised. The knight did as she asked and saw that she was as young and beautiful as she said. The knight was true to his word and allowed his wife to guide him in all he did. She too kept her promise and was faithful to him throughout their lives. And so they lived in perfect happiness until their deaths. May we all have young, loving husbands and the luck to outlive them.